Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Macbeth, and today we get to hear from Macbeth in Act 5, Scene 3. But yesterday we were in Act 4, Scene 3, so we've got a couple of scenes that we need to catch up on. So I'm going to try to keep this quick because those scenes are pretty important. So the recap of things, Macbeth has kind of gone off his rocker. He is leading with fear. He had Macduff's whole family killed. Macduff is with Malcolm in England. They're raising an army to try to come and fight Macbeth, all of that sort of stuff. Act 5, Scene 1 is maybe one of the most famous scenes in the play, and you've probably heard somebody quote something from this, but you've heard them misquote it because that's how Shakespeare works. People very often misquote it, but it's a scene largely between a doctor and Lady Macbeth's gentlewoman, or lady-in-waiting, handmaiden, lady's maid, whatever you want to call her. And the gentlewoman is concerned because Lady Macbeth has taken to sleepwalking. Like, she's observed Lady Macbeth waking up in the middle of the night, writing a letter, sealing it, putting it in a drawer, and going back to bed, and having no recollection of the fact that she did this. And the doctor's like, well, what kind of stuff is she saying while she's sleepwalking? And the gentleman's like, I am not repeating those words. No, I'm not repeating them. So fortunately, Lady Macbeth happens to sleepwalk into the scene, and she's doing a lot of this, making like hand washing motions. And I'm pretty sure that you've heard somebody quote her as saying, out, out, damned spot, but that's not quite what she says. She says, out, damned spot, out, I say. She's making motions trying to wash the blood off of her hands, and she references some things that have been said in the play earlier, like who knew the man had so much blood in him, and things like that. And she makes a reference to Macduff's whole family being dead, and she makes a reference to Banquo being buried in the grave, these sorts of things. So basically, this is the manifestation of the guilt that she's been feeling for the whole play, but hasn't gotten to express. Like when Macbeth killed Duncan, we got to see physically how that affected him right then and there with the whole, Macbeth kills sleep and sleep no more and all of that sort of stuff. But she's been the one that's been keeping it together and trying to keep him on track, trying to keep him focused, all that sort of thing. And she has come across as very like cold or manipulative or unfeeling or things like that. But this scene shows us that she is just as disturbed by the things that they have been doing as he was, but she just hasn't been able to express them. She hasn't had an outlet for any of this. So it's coming out as she's sleepwalking. And she eventually sleepwalks back off to bed, and the doctor and then the gentlewoman are like, okay, that's kind of terrifying, and we should figure out how to make that not happen anymore. And that's the end of Act 5, Scene 1. Act 5, Scene 2, we get to meet some Thanes who we haven't met before. There's an Angus in there. Come back late. There we go. There's an Angus in there. There's a few other guys. And basically they just get together and they're talking about how Macbeth is ruling by fear instead of by love, and they don't trust him anymore. So they're going to go and join Malcolm and Macduff in England. And they're 10,000 men that are coming to fight, and they all agree that they're going to meet up in Birnam Wood because they know that Macbeth is hanging out in Dunsinane, and like Dunsinane Castle is here, Birnam Wood is over there. Now remember, Macbeth was told that he's fine until Birnam Wood comes to overtake Dunsinane Castle. Anyway, fun stuff. So that's the end of Act 5, Scene 2, is just an indication that all of these Scottish noblemen are defecting to the English side. So Macbeth starts out Act 5, Scene 3. It's him and the English doctor, and it's the same English doctor that saw Lady Macbeth sleepwalking. And Macbeth comes in and sort of in a fury, and he says, bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Birnam Wood remove to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth, no man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear. And then the servant comes in. The devil damn thee, black thou cream-faced loon, where gotst thou that goose look? The last two lines are just him kind of being a jerk. But the previous stuff is he's saying, I don't need these things. I don't need this backup from my Scottish countrymen, because I don't have to worry about anything until that forest that's way over there comes over here to attack this castle where I currently am. Not to mention the fact that no man born of woman can hurt me, and every man ever, including Malcolm, was born of woman. Like, that's where people come from, is women give birth to them. So he's feeling very confident and high and mighty, if a little betrayed by the people around him, but he's not going to let that get to him. He's just going to snipe at the servants. And so the servant comes in, and the servant is like, yeah, maybe I look a little scared, because there's like 10,000 men coming to storm the castle. And he's like, yeah, I don't have to worry, but get out, you don't know what you're talking about. And he calls for his captain, Sayward, right? No, he calls for his captain. Sayward is on the other side. Calls for his captain, whose name also starts with an S, to be like, give me an update, what's going on? And the captain's like, yeah, there's like 10,000 men outside who are wanting to storm the castle. And he's like, this is whatever, put my armor on, get my armor on me. And then he starts having like a dual conversation as he's trying to prepare for war, where he's simultaneously trying to say, like, get the horses ready and put my armor on me, and know that armor is too tight, you gotta blah, 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 blah. But he's also kind of talking to the English doctor, like, did you cure my wife yet? Have you cured my wife yet? And the doctor's like, no, not quite yet. It's a big malady going on in her heart. And he's like, you want to see somebody that has a big malady? Make her better. And that's essentially Act 5, Scene 3, is Macbeth feeling betrayed and being angry, but also getting ready for war. So that was a lot. And it's interesting to me that towards the end of the play, there are so few monologues that qualify for this project, because I feel like it was a choice to try to make things move faster so that we can feel the pressure building upon Macbeth as he gets more and more paranoid, and the urgency from the other people to get their country back and all of that sort of thing, and Lady Macbeth feeling all of this incredible guilt. I feel like it's just a tension building trick, and it's actually quite effective. So anyway, tomorrow I think we get to hear from something in Act 5, Scene 5. So I'll just have one completely untouched scene to recap with you before we do tomorrow's monologue. But yeah, I will see you then for that. Mwah.